Story: The Cap Seller and the Monkeys. Once upon a time, there was a cap seller. He traveled far and wide on foot to different towns and villages. He put the caps in a huge basket and carried the basket on his head wherever he went. One hot day, he was crossing a big forest. He sat under a big tree and put his heavy basket aside and slept for some time. A group of monkeys saw the caps in his basket. They climbed down the tree and took the caps out from the basket and started playing with the caps. The cap seller woke up and saw his basket empty. He was very surprised to see the monkeys playing with his caps. The cap seller shouted, "Hey, give me back my caps!" The monkeys only mocked back in response. The cap seller pointed at his cap and kept shouting, "I want my caps back! Give me back my caps!" In response, the monkeys only pointed fingers and moved. He realized and began to think that the monkeys were only imitating him. He suddenly had an idea. He took the cap he was wearing on his head and threw it to the ground. The monkeys did the same in response. They all threw their caps to the ground. The cap seller collected all the caps, put them back in the basket, and went happily. Story: The Dog and Its Reflection. Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a dog called Juno. One day, he found a big roti. He jumped with joy and wagged his tail. He wanted to eat the roti alone without sharing with anybody. So, he decided to go to a lonely place. On his way, he came to a small stream. There was a bridge over the stream. As he was walking across the bridge, he saw his own image in the stream. But Juno thought it was another dog just like him, which also had a roti in his mouth. He thought that the roti in the other dog's mouth was bigger than the one he had. He was greedy and wanted the other roti as well. So he barked at the other dog. As soon as Juno opened his mouth, the roti fell out of his mouth and into the stream. Juno lost the roti he had because of his greed. He walked away sadly with no food for the day. My red balloon, flew up to the sky. I jumped up high to reach the sky, but could not reach it. Why? My red balloon, flew up to the sky. You put your right hand in, you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in and shake it all about. Do the boogie woogie and turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left hand in, you put your left hand out, you put your left hand in and shake it all about. Do the boogie woogie and turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Story: Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There once lived a little girl named Goldilocks. She had long golden hair. One day she lost her way in the forest. Goldilocks saw a house. It belonged to three bears: Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Goldilocks entered the house and saw three bowls of porridge on the table. She tasted the porridge from Papa Bear's bowl, but it was too hot. Then she tried the porridge from Mama Bear's bowl, but it was too cold. Goldilocks then ate the porridge from Baby Bear's bowl and said, "Ah, this porridge is just right." After eating the porridge, Goldilocks walked into the living room. There were three chairs. Goldilocks sat on Papa Bear's chair, but it was too hard. Then she sat on Mama Bear's chair, but it was too soft. Goldilocks then sat on Baby Bear's chair, but it broke. Goldilocks then went to the bedroom. She saw three beds. First, she lay down on Papa Bear's bed, but it was too hard. Then she tried Mama Bear's bed, but it was too soft. Goldilocks then lay down on Baby Bear's bed and said, "Wow, it is just right." Soon she fell asleep. When the three bears came home, they were surprised to see that someone had eaten their porridge and sat on their chairs. Baby Bear was sad to see his broken chair. Later, the three bears went to the bedroom and saw their beds. Papa Bear and Mama Bear wondered who had slept on their beds. Baby Bear was surprised to see a little girl sleeping on his bed. Just then, Goldilocks woke up and saw the three bears. She was so scared that she jumped out of the bed and ran away. Story: The Talkative Tortoise. Long, long ago, there lived a tortoise and two storks near a pond in a forest. They were best friends. The tortoise was very talkative. Days passed and soon summer arrived. Trees in the forest started drying. The ponds were also drying up. The storks decided to fly to a better place where they could get food and water. When they had gone to the tortoise to say goodbye, the poor little tortoise started crying. The storks could not see him crying, and so they came up with a plan. They brought a long stick and asked the tortoise to hold the stick in the middle with his mouth. The storks warned the tortoise not to open his mouth because if he did, he would fall down. The tortoise promised the storks that he would not talk. The storks held the stick at both the ends with their beaks and flew together. The storks started flying higher and higher. They crossed hills, valleys, and fields. The tortoise was waiting to talk, but he remembered the promise and kept quiet. Soon they were flying over a town. The people of the town saw the storks carry the tortoise. They started clapping and shouting. This made the tortoise angry. He could not control his anger. He opened his mouth to say something, and third fell the tortoise. धोबी आया, धोबी आया, कितने कपड़े लाया? एक दो तीन, एक दो तीन। धोबी आया, धोबी आया, कितने कपड़े लाया? चार पाँच छः, चार पाँच छः। धोबी आया, धोबी आया, कितने कपड़े लाया? सात आठ नौ, सात आठ नौ। धोबी आया, धोबी आया, कितने कपड़े लाया? दस दस दस, भाई दस दस दस। 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? This little finger on the right. Story: The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, there lived a young and handsome prince. The king and the queen were looking for a beautiful princess to marry him. All the girls in the town wanted to marry him. One stormy night, the queen heard a knock on the door. She opened the door and saw a beautiful young girl. The girl was wet from head to toe. "I am a princess from a nearby kingdom. I have lost my way," she said. "May I stay here tonight, please?" requested the girl. The queen liked the girl but did not believe she was a princess. So she wanted to test her. The queen ordered her servants to make a bed. At the bottom of the bed, the queen placed a dried pea. The servants put many mattresses and quilts over it. The princess slept on the bed. The next morning, the queen asked the princess, "Dear, did you sleep well?" The princess replied, "I could not sleep. The bed was soft, but there was something hard under the mattress. It hurt my back," complained the princess. The queen realized that the girl was a real princess and decided to marry the prince with her. A few days later, the prince and the princess got married. They lived happily ever after. Story: The Grasshopper and the Ants. One fine sunny morning, a grasshopper was hopping around singing happily. Soon the grasshopper saw a group of ants carrying grains of wheat. The grasshopper asked the ants, "Where are you going?" One of the ants replied, "To our hill. We are carrying grains to store for winter." "Ha ha ha!" The grasshopper laughed. He said, "Stop working and join me. We shall sing and enjoy the summer." The ants did not stop carrying the grains. One of them said, "We are saving food for winter. You should also store some food for yourself, or else you will be in trouble." The grasshopper replied, "Oh, come on, there is time for winter. The day is lovely and I shall sing and play." After a few months, the winter set in. The weather was very cold and it started snowing. Soon the fields and plants were covered with snow. The ants were safe in their homes and also had plenty of food. But the grasshopper had no home and no food. He was feeling very cold and hungry. He didn't know where to go and what to do. At that moment, he recalled what the ants had said to him. He went to them and asked for some food and shelter. One of the ants got very angry. He said, "When we were working hard, you made fun of us. We don't want to help you now." The poor grasshopper was standing outside in the cold without any food to eat. The little ants felt sorry for him. Finally, one of them opened the door and let him in. They gave him food to eat. Bits of paper, lying on the floor, lying on the floor, makes the place untidy, make the place untidy. Pick them up, pick them up. Pick the bits of paper, pick the bits of paper, lying on the floor, lying on the floor. Throw them in the dustbin, throw them in the dustbin. Let's clean up, let's clean up. Yummy food is cooked by my mummy, and lots of goodies are bought by daddy. To play with me, my brother is always ready, and my sister is my best buddy. My granny tells tales that are funny, and grandpa gives me lots of money. All these people make my life so merry. That's why I love my family. Story: A Farmer and His Three Sons. In a faraway village, there lived a farmer with his wife and three sons. The farmer and his wife worked very hard on their farm, but their sons were lazy. One day, the youngest son asked his mother to make some tasty food. His mother told him that she could not make tasty food as they did not grow many crops. The son asked why they did not grow many crops. Just then, the farmer came home and heard his son. He angrily said, "None of you work on the farm. How can we grow many crops?" The youngest son told his brothers what their father had told him. They both said, "We want to eat good food, but we do not want to work." The youngest son, however, started helping his father. Soon the farm was covered with a lush green crop. One day, the other two sons were sleeping under a tree. Just then, they heard the noise of sheep and goats. They woke up and saw the animals eating the crop. They both got up angrily and started chasing the animals away. Their mother saw this and laughed. She told them, "Instead of running after animals, help us build a fence to keep them out." The second son decided to help his father build a fence. His crop grew well. One day, the eldest son saw a few birds eating the crop. He got very angry and ran after them. The father laughed and said, "Instead of chasing the birds, help me make a scarecrow." Hearing this, the eldest son decided to help his father. They made a scarecrow and the birds did not come again. They all worked hard and ate good food. They were now one big happy family. I love my school. It is a big knowledge pool. Pool, pool, pool. I love my school. Here I meet my friends so cool. Cool, cool, cool. I love my school. We play and follow every rule. Rule, rule, rule. I love my school. School, school. It is a big knowledge pool. Pool, pool, pool. Story: The Cracked Pot. In the village of Bharatpur, there lived a farmer. He had two pots. Every morning he took the pots to fill water from the river. After filling water in the pots, he would tie them to a long pole. Then he would place the pole across his shoulders and walk home. Now, one of the pots had a small crack at the base. So, each time the farmer walked back home from the river, a small stream of water trickled along the way from that pot. By the time the farmer reached home, the cracked pot would be half empty. The farmer, however, loved the pot very much. So, he kept using it. One day, the farmer saw the cracked pot crying. He was shocked and asked the pot why it was crying. The cracked pot replied, I have a hole, so water leaks out and I am always half empty. That is why you get less water. The cracked pot started crying again. The farmer took the pot outside. He pointed toward the flowers growing on one side of the path. He said, it is the same side where the water has dripped from you. The farmer also said, there are no flowers on the other side of the path. This is because it has not received a single drop of water from the other pot. That is why I have been using you, the farmer added. The pot became very happy as it felt it was useful though it was not perfect. Story: A Pink Rose. Once there was a little pink rosebud. She lived in a green garden. One day she was sitting in the garden all by herself. The weather was calm and still. Suddenly she heard a little tap, tap, tap at the door. Who is that? She said. It's me, the rain. I want to come in, said the soft, sad little voice of the rain. No, you can't come in, the little rosebud said. Then all was calm for some time. Then there came a soft whispering sound all round the window. Who is there? Asked the little rosebud. It's me, the sun, said a little soft cheery voice. And I want to come in. No, said the little pink rosebud. You can't come in. And she sat still again. As she sat still there, she heard a tap, 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 and a rustle, a whisper, and a rustle all up and down the window pane, and on the door, and at the keyhole. Who is there? Asked the rosebud. It's the rain and the sun, said two little voices together. And we want to come in. Dear, dear, exclaimed the little rosebud. If there are two of you, I shall have to let you in. Saying this, she opened the door a little to let them come in. And one took one of her little hands, the other took her other little hand, and they ran with her right up to the top. Then they said, "Poke your head through." So she peeped in to find herself in the midst of a beautiful garden. It was springtime with all the other flowers at their fullest bloom. But she was the prettiest little pink rose in the entire garden. और सी कहानी खरगोश और कछुआ। बहुत समय पहले की बात है। एक जंगल में चीकू नाम का एक घमंडी खरगोश रहता था। वह पूरे दिन जंगल में तेज दौड़ता रहता था। एक बार उसने टीटू कछुए से कहा, तुम कितना धीरे चलते हो, मैं निश्चय ही तुम्हें दौड़ में हरा दूंगा। टीटू कछुआ बोला, भले ही मैं धीरे चलता हूँ, पर मैं तुमसे दौड़ लगाने को तैयार हूँ। दोनों में दौड़ शुरू हो गई। खरगोश कुछ ज्यादा ही जोश में था। उसे पूरा विश्वास था कि वह दौड़ में जीत जाएगा। आधे रास्ते पहुंचकर उसने देखा कि टीटू कछुआ बहुत पीछे रह गया है। उसने सोचा कि अभी तो मेरे पास बहुत समय है, मैं कुछ देर आराम कर लेता हूँ। यह सोचकर वह सो गया। कुछ देर में ही टीटू कछुआ वहां से गुजरा, लेकिन जीत को ध्यान में रखकर वह एक पल के लिए भी नहीं रुका और लगातार चलता रहा। धीरे धीरे टीटू विजय स्थल पर पहुंच गया और दौड़ जीत गया। चीकू खरगोश शाम तक सोता रह गया और दौड़ हार गया। Story: Pintu found a trumpet. There was a boy named Pintu. He was a curious little boy. One day, he found a long metal object in a cupboard. It was something new. He had never seen such an object before. He wanted to know what it was. He took it to his brother and asked him what it was. He said, I don't know. Why don't you ask Ria? Pintu asked Ria, Hi Ria, do you know what it is? Ria said, Sorry, I don't know. Pintu started thinking about it. Can I look through it? Does it make things look bigger or smaller? He tried to look through it. No, it doesn't. Is it a rattle? He shook it hard. No, it's not. Is it a bat? Can I play cricket with this? He tried to use it as a bat. No, it's not flat, so it's not possible. Is it some food? Can I eat this? He tried to bite it. Ouch! It is hard. It's definitely not an eatable thing. Oh, it looks like a pipe. Let me try blowing into it. Pintu puts it into his mouth and blew hard. He heard a musical sound. Wow, it sounds good. He blew into it again and again. He liked its musical sound. Now I know what it is. It is a trumpet. Pintu felt very happy that he found it. Pintu enjoyed playing his trumpet. 5 little bluebirds hopping by my door. One went to build a nest, and then there were 4. 4 little bluebirds singing happily. One got out of tune, and then there were 3. 3 little bluebirds, and what should one do? But go in search of dinner, leaving only 2. 2 little bluebirds singing for fun. One flew away, and then there was 1. 1 little bluebird sitting in the sun. He took a little nap, and then there was none. Listen to the big drum, bang, bang, bang. Listen to the triangle, tang, tang, tang. Listen to the trumpet, toot, toot, toot. Listen to a tambourine, shoo, shoo, shoo. Listen to the big drum, bang, bang, bang. Listen to the triangle, tang, tang, tang. Listen to the trumpet, toot, toot, toot. Listen to a tambourine, shoo, shoo, shoo. कहानी चींटी और कबूतर। एक नदी के पास पेड़ पर एक कबूतर बैठा था। उसने नीचे देखा कि पानी में एक चींटी गिर गई है और वह डूबने वाली है। कबूतर ने उसकी जान बचाने के लिए पेड़ से एक पत्ता गिरा दिया। चींटी उस पर चढ़कर डूबने से बच गई और उसने कबूतर को धन्यवाद दिया। कुछ दिन बाद उस चींटी ने देखा कि एक बहेलिया उसके दोस्त कबूतर को मारने के लिए निशाना साध रहा है। चींटी ने कबूतर को बचाने के लिए बहेलिये के पैर पर जोर से काट लिया। बहेलिया दर्द से चीखा और कबूतर चौकन्ना होकर उड़ गया। इस तरह चींटी ने अपने दोस्त कबूतर की जान बचाई। Story: The Lion and the Mouse. It was a very hot day in the jungle. Simba, the lion, had a heavy meal and fell fast asleep under a shady tree. Meanwhile, Pintu, a mouse, was playing nearby. He was having a lot of fun, squeaking and jumping around. He ran up the tail of Simba, across his back, and then on his head. His squeaking woke Simba. He caught Pintu in his palm. "How dare you wake me up from my sleep?" he roared with anger. Pintu trembled with fear and said, "Oh lion, please forgive me. Please let me go. Maybe someday I will be of some help to you." "Ha ha ha!" Simba laughed. "You are so small. How will you help me?" he asked. Seeing Pintu tremble so much, Simba let him go, saying, "My stomach is full. I can let you go." A few days later, a hunter laid a net in the forest to catch animals. Unfortunately, Simba got trapped in the nets. He roared loudly with anger. Pintu heard him roar and ran quickly for his help. He bit the net with his sharp teeth and made a hole in it. Simba came out through the hole. He was very happy. "Thank you, little mouse," he said. You are so tiny, but you saved my life. No, Majesty, it was my duty, Pintu said with pride. Simba shook Pintu's hand and said, You will always be my little friend. Pintu went home, squeaking in delight. Down by the station, early in the morning, see the little engines all in a row. See the story, The Big Mix Up. Cherry and Chase, said Mom as she was leaving. I have to go and visit Aunt Rita in hospital. Would you please do a few things while I am away? I've made a list. Sure, Mom, said Cherry, waving goodbye. Feed the cat and the canary. Measure and soak a cup of dried beans. Change the towels in the bathroom. Dust the dining room. Lay the table. Draw the curtains. That's a very long list, grumbled Chase. If you do two of the chores, I'll do the others, suggested Cherry. Chase wondered what the cat ate. He stared at the cans and bags in the kitchen. In the meantime, Cherry scooped a cupful of dried beans out of a bag and then looked at the list again. Soak a cup of dried beans, she read. Now I wonder, does Mom want me to soak the cup or the beans? And how do I measure them? Perhaps she wants me to count them. Very confusing, she thought. So she dipped the beans into a bowl with some water to soak. She put the cup into the bowl as well, just in case. Chase found a box of cat food and put some in the cat's bowl. Now, what about the canary? He wondered. Too lazy to look any further, he put some in the canary's bowl as well. Cherry went to the bathroom. How did Mom expect her to change the towels? She loved painting. So she used purple and green paints and made pretty flowers on them. Another job done well, she thought. The next job was to dust the dining room. She went outside and collected a handful of fine sand from the garden. She carefully blew little puffs all over the furniture. That is dusty enough, she said to herself. Now, how should I lay the table? When I lie down to sleep, I turn on my side, she thought. The table was heavy, so she called Chase. He rolled his eyes but helped her to turn the table on its side. Well, that's the table laid, she said proudly. Chase flopped down on the couch. Hurry up, you haven't drawn the curtains yet. Mom will be home soon. Ugh, said Chase. Cherry fetched a sheet of paper and some crayons and hurriedly drew a picture of the kitchen curtains. She was quite pleased with her drawing. Soon Mom returned home. Thank you, children. Aunt Rita feels better. What? Is that cat food in the canary's bowl? She exclaimed. I thought the canary would like to eat something different, Chase explained. Mom laughed. I think you should rather give it these seeds. Mom went to the bathroom to wash her hands. Oh no! My beautiful new towels! What happened to them? You asked us to change them, Mom, and I thought the best way was to paint them. Mom just shook her head. Did you lay the table for dinner? For dinner? You didn't list that. You just wrote lay the table, and I thought that was what you meant. Mom looked upset. Come, help me lift the table to set it back straight, and let me show you how to lay the table. And why didn't you draw the curtains? The house gets so hot in the afternoon. But I did, exclaimed Cherry. Chase wouldn't do it, but I did. She held up her drawing proudly. Look at this. After dinner that evening, Mom said, Thank you for trying to help today, but I think I should let you help me with household chores more often so that you can learn how to do things properly. Story: The Magic Words. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful blue lagoon. Many creatures lived there. There were dolphins and fish. There were seahorses and octopuses. There were turtles and eels. The lagoon was a very happy place. One day, a sea dragon came to the lagoon. The sea dragon was a mean creature. This lagoon is too happy. I must make it sad, he said. The sea dragon closed his eyes. He said the magic words. I am the dragon, big and strong. I take what is right and make it wrong. I am meaner than all the fish in the sea. I never say excuse me, thank you, or please. He opened his eyes. He saw that the creatures were still happy. The dolphins danced. The seahorses sang. The eels smiled. The octopuses hummed. The sea dragon was surprised. He closed his eyes again. Again he said the magic words. I am the dragon, big and strong. I take what is right and make it wrong. I am meaner than all the fish in the sea. I never say excuse me, thank you, or please. He opened his eyes, but the creatures were all still happy. The dolphins still danced. The seahorses still sang. The eels still smiled. The octopuses still hummed. Just then a tiny green turtle swam up. Good morning, Mr. Sea Dragon. Welcome to our lagoon. May I show you around? If you have to, he said. Thank you, Mr. Sea Dragon. Would you like to hear our magic song? It can't be better than mine, the dragon said rudely. I'm sorry, Mr. Sea Dragon. I didn't mean to make you mad. But our song has many magic words. All right, roared the dragon. Sing this magic song. The dolphins danced. The seahorses sang. The eels smiled. The octopuses hummed. And the turtles nodded their heads in time to the song. At Happy Lagoon we are always polite. With our magic words we turn wrong into right. The first magic words are may I and please. When we need something we always say these. Welcome we say when we see someone new. And when our friends help us we say thank you. Excuse me and sorry are polite things to say when we make someone sad or get in their way. We say good morning and also good night. At Happy Lagoon we are always polite. Soon the sea dragon was singing and dancing too. He bumped into a dolphin. Excuse me, Mr. Dolphin, said the sea dragon. From that day on, the dragon sang a new song. I am the dragon, big and strong. I make others happy with my song. I will always be nice to the fish in the sea. I will always say, excuse me, thank you, and please. Story Out, Out. It was a holiday. Jeet and Bubbly were playing. They played many games. Both of them skipped the rope. They played hide and seek. Bubbly and Jeet decided to play bat and ball. Jeet got ready to throw the ball. Jeet threw the ball. Bubbly hit the ball. The ball went into Mohit's garden, but his house was locked. They could not find the ball, so the game stopped. Bubbly knew how to make a ball. They got a few rags, paper, and wool. Bubbly also brought a piece of string. She rolled rags, paper, and wool to make a ball. Then she tied the ball with a string. They liked the new ball. The game started again. This time, Bubbly picked the ball. Jeet picked the bat. Bubbly threw the ball. Jeet hit the ball hard. The ball opened up and scattered in the air. Bubbly jumped and caught a piece of rag. She jumped and shouted, "Out! Out!" Story Seeing Without Seeing. Little Onshangla returned from the school. She opened the door quietly. She kept her bag on the table quietly. Her mother looked at her. "Onshangla, you are very quiet today," said Eva. "Did anything happen in the school?" "Yes, Eva," said Onshangla. "A new boy came to our school. He sits in our class." "Yes," said Eva, listening to Onshangla and placing biscuits and milk on the table. "The teacher helped him sit in the front desk," said Onshangla. "He wears black glasses. He cannot see. He will come every day. How will he do things?" "Finish your biscuits and milk," said Eva. "Then we will play a new game." "Yes, let us play," said Onshangla. She tied a scarf over Onshangla's eyes. "Now tell me, what do I hold in my hand?" said Eva. "How can I?" asked Onshangla. "My eyes are closed. I can't see." "You can find out," said Eva. "Try it." Eva had a rose in her hand. "What do I hold?" she asked. Onshangla touched it. "It is something soft." "A flower?" she said. "Yes," said Eva. "But what flower is it? Smell it." Onshangla bent forward and sniffed at it. "It is a rose!" she cried. "Good," said Eva. "Now try another thing." "What do I hold?" She held a small bell in her hand. She shook it. Trin, trin. "I know," said Onshangla with joy. "It is the bell, the small bell that gives such a musical sound." "I can hear it, Eva." Onshangla took the bell and shook it herself. "Smart girl," said Eva. Then Eva took a glass in her hand. "What is it?" What do I hold now? Do you know? She asked. Onshangla touched it. It is a glass, she said. She put one finger slightly into the glass. A glass of water. Are you sure? Asked Eva. It could be milk or juice. Onshangla tasted it. Oh, she cried. It is not water. It is orange juice. Eva laughed. Good girl, she said. Now I will remove the scarf. You must tell what is in front of you, she said. She took off the scarf. Onshangla blinked and looked at her. It is you, Eva, she shouted with joy. I see you. That was a wonderful game, Eva, said Onshangla. So, Onshangla, said Eva, if a child cannot see, there are other ways of finding out things. But the child may have some difficulties. I hope all of you will be friends with the new boy. Yes, Eva, said Onshangla. Story. My name. Once there was a little fly. One day he could not remember his name. He tried and tried to remember it, but it was of no use. He had forgotten his name. He asked an ant, Ant, do you know my name? The ant said, I don't know. You may ask the tree I climb. The fly said, Dear tree, do you know my name? The tree said, I don't know. You may ask the cow sleeping in my shade. The fly went near the cow and asked, Dear cow, do you know my name? The cow said, I don't know. You may ask the grass I eat. The fly went to the grass and asked, Dear grass, do you know my name? The grass said, I don't know. You may ask the leaves fallen on me. The fly asked a leaf fallen on the grass, Dear leaf, do you know my name? The leaf was about to answer when the wind blew. The leaf began to fly. Seeing this, the fly remembered his name. My name is Fly, my name is Fly, he said happily. Story. The Smart Monkey. One day, Anju and Farida went to the market. Anju bought a bag and Farida bought a water bottle. Later, they went to a shop and bought a packet of groundnuts and a bottle of juice. They felt tired. They sat on a bench under a tree to rest. There was a monkey on the branch of the tree above them. Farida and Anju did not see the monkey. They took out their food from the bag and began to eat. The monkey had a banana. He peeled the banana and ate it. Farida and Anju took out the groundnuts and started eating. They threw the packet down. Then they drank the juice and threw down the bottle. Just then, the monkey climbed down the tree with the banana peel. There was a dustbin nearby. The monkey threw the banana peel into the dustbin. Farida and Anju saw this and felt ashamed. They picked up the packet and the empty bottle and threw them into the dustbin. Story. The Sparrow Family. Mama and Papa Sparrow were making a nest. They found a safe place. The little nest was soon ready. It was soft and warm. Mama Sparrow laid 3 small eggs. One day the eggs broke open. 3 little heads popped out. Papa Sparrow brought food for them. Grandmother and Grandfather Sparrow, Aunt and Uncle Sparrow, cousins and friends all came to meet the baby sparrows. The baby sparrows grew bigger and bigger. One day, the baby sparrows hopped out of the nest. They flew up into the big blue sky. Story: The Cap Seller and the Monkeys. Once there was a man who sold caps. He carried many caps in a basket on his head. He was a cap seller. One day he slept under a tree. There were monkeys on the tree. They came down from the tree. They took away all the caps. The cap seller woke up. He saw the basket was empty. He looked around and above. The monkeys were wearing his caps. The cap seller shook his fists at the monkeys. They also did the same. The cap seller scratched his head. The monkeys did the same. The cap seller had an idea. He took off his cap and threw it into the empty basket. The monkeys also did the same. The cap seller got all his caps back and went away happily. Story: Catch Me If You Can. A fat cat sat on a mat. "I can catch you, little rat," said the cat. A little rat saw her and hid in a hat. "No, no, you can't," said the rat. The cat ran to catch the rat. The rat ran and hid in a box. The lid of the box did not open. "Ha ha, you can't catch me, big cat," said the rat. Story: Anandi's Rainbow. It was raining outside. Anandi was fast asleep, dreaming of rainbows. She woke up to look out of her window. There was a huge bright rainbow across a clear blue sky. Anandi ran out to the garden with Millie, her favorite cat. Anandi loved to draw and paint. Today, she wanted to paint the flowers of her garden with the colors of the rainbow. She colored one flower with violet and another with the indigo of the rainbow, one with the blue and leaves with the green, one with orange, one with red. But she left the yellow so that the sun may look bright and gay. And lo, there were beautiful flowers all over the garden. The sun was up there, shining in its yellow glory. After giving colors to the flowers and the sun, the rainbow was gone. Story: A Visit to the Market. Minnie's father is a farmer. He grows vegetables in his farm. He sells them in the market. Every Saturday, Minnie goes with him to the market. Her father sells his vegetables. He takes her around the market. There are many people in the market. They are buying vegetables and fruits. They are buying flowers and toys too. Minnie. Look, father, there are many colorful flowers. Father. Yes, there are. Let me tell you the names of the flowers. These are roses. These are marigolds. Those are jasmine. Minnie. Yes. Sometimes mother makes a string of jasmine flowers. Father. Look at the fruits here. Minnie. I can see apples, but what are those large fruits behind the apples? Father. Those are pineapples. Minnie. What are these fruits kept on the right of the apples? Father. They are oranges. Minnie. What is the name of the big green fruit kept on the left of the apples? Father. Oh, that is watermelon. Minnie returns home with her father. She holds a small basket of flowers in her hand. Her father has a bag of fruits. Story: The Rooster and the Sun. There was once a rooster. Early every morning he crowed loudly, "Cock-a-doodle-doo." He thought that he woke the sun up every day by crowing. The rooster felt very proud. "I am so important," he thought. "If I don't crow every morning, the sun will not rise." One night he thought he would trick the sun. So at dawn he did not get up and crow. He shut his eyes and went back to sleep. When he woke up, the sun was shining brightly. The rooster did not want to believe that the sun did not need his help to rise every day. "I know what happened," he thought. "Some other rooster copied my voice and crowed. The sun thought it was me and rose." Story: Pinocchio Runs Away. Once upon a time, there was a carpenter called Master Cherry. He wanted to fix the leg of a table. He found the right piece of wood. He lifted his axe to cut the wood. Suddenly, he heard a shrill voice saying, "Don't hit me so hard." Master Cherry was very scared. He looked around. Whose voice was it? He looked behind the cupboard. He looked under the chair. There was nobody there. He took a saw and started sawing the wood. "Oh, oh, you have hurt me," cried the little voice. Master Cherry was really scared. He stopped and waited for some time. He did not hear the voice again. He put the saw away. He started polishing the wood. He heard the little voice again. It was laughing. "You are tickling me," it said. Just then, his neighbor, Master Geppetto, walked in. "Hello, neighbor Geppetto. What can I do for you?" asked Master Cherry. "I want some wood to make my puppet. Will you give me some?" said Master Geppetto. Master Cherry happily gave him the piece of wood that talked and laughed. Master Geppetto took it home. He took out his tools and started making his puppet. He thought he would call the puppet Pinocchio. He first made the puppet's body and then the head. He made the hair and the eyes. When he made the nose, it began to grow. Geppetto cut it off. It grew again. Geppetto was getting tired. When he made the mouth, the puppet started laughing. "Stop laughing," said Geppetto. The puppet stuck its tongue out at him. Geppetto picked up the beautiful puppet that he had made. "Are you going to be a good boy or a naughty boy?" he asked. He put the puppet on the floor to teach him to walk. Soon the puppet was walking and running and dancing around the room. Suddenly, before Geppetto could even think of grabbing him, Pinocchio ran to the door and off he went. Story: Kichu Monkey Can't Sleep. Kichu Monkey can't sleep. His mother is singing. His father is dancing. His brother is jumping. His sister is crying. Kichu Monkey goes out. The moon is shining. The birds are sleeping. Kichu Monkey sits by the river. The fish are leaping. The frogs are smiling. Kichu closes his eyes. And before you can say hip hip hooray, Kichu Monkey is asleep. Kichu Monkey is dreaming. He rolls to the left. He rolls to the right. And he rolls right into the river. Splash! Kichu Monkey is wide awake. He swims to land. He is cold. He runs back home. His mother is singing. His father is dancing. His brother is jumping. His sister is crying. But Kichu Monkey doesn't mind. He pulls up his blanket and is asleep. Before you can say hip hip hooray. Story: The Magic Garden. The magic garden was in a school playground. It was very pretty. Sunflowers and roses stood high against the wall. There were also marigolds, poppies, and pansies. The sunshine fell on this garden more than on any other, and the flowers danced and sang happily. They said to one another, "We have hundreds of little gardeners." They were the children from the school. One sunny morning, the flowers were talking to the birds. "I love all the children, but I love the dear little ones most of all," said a poppy. "I like them to bring their watering cans and water my thirsty roots." "Yes," said the marigolds, "the boys are good to us too. They dig the ground so well." "We love the little children," said a tiny bird. "They are kind and they bring bread for us." All the flowers said, "We must work hard to make our dresses very pretty, for the children will be here soon." The sun said, "I will help you also, for nothing pleases me better than to see the children running about in the golden sunshine." Suddenly the children came out laughing and singing, and the flowers stopped their songs to listen to them. "Oh, look at the tall sunflower," said one child, and the sunflower lifted its head very proudly. Another child said, "I love the marigold in its golden dress." The marigold smiled happily. It was indeed a magic garden because it had fairies too. They danced and sang sweet songs which only the children could hear. After a time, the fairies came out dancing and talked with the children. Their dresses were made of flowers and their wings of sunshine. The magic garden was quiet that night. The flowers and birds were asleep and dreaming of the next day when the children would come again. Story: Nina and the Baby Sparrows. There was great joy in Nina's house. Nina's aunt was getting married. Nina, her father, mother, and little brother were all going to Delhi for the wedding. Everyone was happy except Nina. Her mother took her to the market to buy a new dress. "What color would you like?" Mother asked. "I don't want a new dress, Mother," said Nina. "Salwar kameez then?" Nina shook her head. "What about those lovely white shoes you saw last week?" "I don't want those either. Thank you, Mother." Nina's mother was upset, but she said nothing. They went back home and had lunch. After lunch, Mother came and sat near Nina. "What is it, child?" she asked. "Why did you say no to everything?" "Mother, I don't want to go to the wedding." "But why?" Nina said nothing. Instead, two big tears rolled down her cheeks. Mother put her arms around Nina. "Don't cry, my pet," she said. "Why don't you tell me what's bothering you?" More tears rolled down Nina's cheeks. "Mother," she said, "there's a sparrow's nest on the bookshelf in my room, and there are two baby sparrows in the nest." "I see," said Mother. "They are just beginning to get their feathers, and growing up makes them so hungry. All day long they cry cheep cheep, asking for food." "I see," said Mother. "If we go, the whole place will be locked. And how will Papa and Mama sparrows feed their babies?" "Oh, Nina," cried Mother, giving her a big hug. "Is that why you don't want to go to the wedding? But that's no problem at all. We'll leave the window open." "Oh, can we, Mother? Can we? Really?" "Yes, yes. We will remove all your things from the room and lock the door on the outside. So the house will be perfectly safe and Papa and Mama sparrows can come and go freely too." Just think, Nina, while you enjoy yourself at the wedding, the baby sparrows will be getting nice and fat in their nest. Good idea, isn't it? It was a good idea. When Nina came back from the wedding, there were two plump little sparrows flying all over the room. And wasn't Nina thrilled? Story: The Enormous Turnip. Once upon a time, an old man planted some turnip seeds. The turnip seeds grew. The turnip seeds grew and grew. "I want to pull up the enormous turnip," said the old man. The old man pulled and pulled, but he could not pull up the enormous turnip. An old woman came. "I want to pull up that enormous turnip," said the old man. "I will help you," said the old woman. The old man and the old woman pulled and pulled, but they could not pull up the enormous turnip. A boy came. "We want to pull up that enormous turnip," said the old woman. I will help you, said the boy. The old man and the old woman and the boy pulled and pulled, but they could not pull up the enormous turnip. A girl came. We want to pull up that enormous turnip, said the boy. I will help you, said the girl. The old man and the old woman and the boy and the girl pulled and pulled. Up came the enormous turnip. We will help you to eat the enormous turnip, said the old woman and the boy and the girl. And they did. A little fish story. There are a great many million fish in the seas, but this story is about just one of them, and a very small one at that. Now, this little fish had everything in the seas to make him contented, but he was not happy. You will laugh when I tell you why he was not. He was unhappy because he was so very small. It is very hard to be such a little mite of a fish, he would say, over and over again. If I were only larger, how much happier I could be. And he said it so many times that I think he believed it. One day he was swimming along with the rest of his school and thinking, no doubt, how much more the larger fish had to be thankful for than he, when suddenly, with no warning, they found themselves in the meshes of a great net. There was much floundering and splashing as the net was drawn up out of the water into the sunlight, and just as its hull was being emptied into the boat, the smallest fish in the school wriggled through the mesh and slipped back into the cool, clear water. How good it felt! He swam here and there and everywhere, and some of the fish who knew him well all the rest of his life said that they never again heard him say that he wished to be anything but a little fish. Story: The Yellow Butterfly. A yellow butterfly flew around in Sonu's garden. Sonu saw the butterfly. He ran to catch it. The butterfly flew to the rose bed. It sat on a red rose. Now I can catch it, said Sonu. He walked slowly and silently to catch the butterfly. He came closer, closer and still closer, but then off flew the butterfly. Where did the butterfly go? Near the garden was a pond. In the pond was a white lotus. Around it grew round leaves. They floated in the water. The butterfly sailed on a floating leaf. Sonu went splash into the water and off flew the butterfly. Where was it? Sonu looked up. He looked down. Near the wall was a peach tree. It had pink flowers. The butterfly sat on a pretty flower. I can catch you, shouted Sonu. He climbed up the tree. Up, up he climbed. But back it flew down from the tree. Sonu jumped down too. He chased the butterfly from the rose to the lotus and up the peach tree, but he could not catch the butterfly. Sonu could not see it at all. He looked everywhere. At last, he saw the butterfly. There was a big spider's web in the peach tree. The butterfly was caught in the spider's web. It looked sad as it tried to escape. It fluttered its wings. It twisted and turned, but it could not escape. The spider's web held it tight. Poor butterfly! In the middle of the web was a big spider. It looked hungry. It wanted to catch the butterfly. Closer and closer crawled the black spider. Before the hungry spider could grab it, Sonu ran and he caught the butterfly. It was so pretty. It had black spots on its yellow wings. Sonu loved the little butterfly, but it looked sad in Sonu's hand. Sonu wanted it to be happy. "Go," said Sonu. "Fly away." He let the butterfly go. It sat on the red rose. It flew to the peach tree and then sailed on a lotus leaf. It flew merrily from flower to flower. Sonu watched it fly and fly. The butterfly flew all around Sonu's garden, happy and free once again. Story: Little Tiger, Big Tiger. There was a mother tiger and her small tiger cub. They lived near a river in a shady jungle. When the sky was dark, the mother tiger hunted for deer and pig. The tiger cub stayed close by his mother's side. When the langur monkey saw her, he called a loud, harsh call. "Watch out! A tiger is coming!" The sambar deer bellowed. The kakar deer barked. And sometimes the game got away. She hunted then for jungle fowl, for pheasant and for frog, or went to the river for fish. But she did not hunt every night. If the moon was bright, the mother tiger lay down and waited for the dawn. She twitched the tip of her tail, and the tiger cub pounced on her tail again and again. If he went too far away, the mother tiger called him with a low, quiet grunt. The tiger cub came back, but he did not like to stay near his mother in the jungle at night. One night, the mother tiger was tired and closed her eyes. The tiger cub saw a tiny frog hopping along the ground. The tiger cub pounced, but the frog hopped away. He chased the frog and caught it, and turned to show his mother, but she was not in sight. Instead, he saw a tiger bigger than his mother near him in the jungle. The tiger's green eyes glistened as he watched the tiger cub. The tiger cub was frightened. He could not hide or run. He let the frog hop away. The tiger crept up closer to the little tiger cub. But a roar filled the jungle, the roar of the mother tiger. She faced the other tiger and he went away. The mother tiger liked to roar a loud, big tiger roar to tell all the other animals in the jungle that she was there. All the other animals in the jungle kept far, far away. The tiger cub also liked to roar, a loud tiger cub roar, to tell all the other animals in the jungle that he was there. But all the other animals in the jungle were not afraid at all, and none of them ran away. But there came a year when the small tiger cub was a full grown tiger. He walked for miles alone, hunting for game at night. When he roared to tell all the other animals in the jungle that he was there, all the other animals in the jungle kept far, far away. And the great big tiger that had been a small tiger cub, hearing his own loud roar, smiled to himself a great big tiger smile. Story: My silly sister. Mother, your baby is silly. She is so very childish. She does not know the difference between the lights in the streets and the bright stars. When we play with pebbles, she thinks they are real food. She even tries to put them into her mouth. When I open a book before her and ask her to learn her ABC, she tears the pages with her hands and roars with joy at nothing. This is your baby's way of doing her lessons. When I shake my head at her in anger and scold her or call her naughty, she laughs and thinks it great fun. Everybody knows that father is away, but sometimes I call out father playfully. She looks quickly around her in excitement and thinks that father is near. Sometimes I hold a class with the donkeys that our washerman brings to carry away the dirty clothes. I warn her that I am the schoolmaster and that she better not make any noise. Only then she keeps quiet. I insist that she should call me Dada. Your baby wants to catch the moon. She's really funny. Mother, your baby is silly. She is so very childish. Story: He is my brother. Once upon a time, there was a small hill. A path went up the hill. It went through thick and lovely woods of pine and fir trees. People often walked on it to a holy place. One day, when the sun shone high in the sky, many people were seen climbing up the hill. They were climbing slowly and carefully. A girl also climbed the hill with them. Her name was Meena. Meena was 12 years old. She carried a small boy on her back. He was 4 years old. His hair was curly, his eyes were black, and his face was as fresh as the morning dew. As the sunshine danced through the trees, Meena climbed the hill slowly and steadily. Meena was happy. The boy was also happy. A man in the group looked at Meena. He felt sorry for her. He asked her, "My child, why are you carrying a boy on your back? Don't you feel his load?" Meena looked at him in wonder. She could not understand him. Her brother was unable to walk. Meena asked, "Load? Of course not. He is my brother." Story: The ship of the desert. Lion roaring. Who are you? Camel looking down at the lion. I am the ship of the desert. Who are you? Lion. Don't you know me? I am the king of the forest. Camel. Are you? Oh, I see. Lion frowning. You call yourself the ship of the desert. How can you be a ship? You are an animal. Camel smiling. So I am, but people call me the ship of the desert. I can walk across the desert even on a hot afternoon. The sand burns, but it doesn't bother me. Lion. I can't believe it. Camel. Can you walk across a desert? Lion blinking. No, I can't, but I can run in the forest. Camel with disdain. Every animal can do that. I alone can run on sand. I can run on sand at 25 kilometers an hour. Lion wonderingly. How can you do that? Camel. Look at my feet. They are thick and padded. The hot sun does not burn them. Lion. My feet are padded too. Thorns don't prick them, and I can run 80 kilometers an hour. Camel. That is true. You can run 80 kilometers an hour in the forest. But can you run even a mile on the hot sand? Lion. Maybe not, but... Camel interrupting. And you can't live without water for a week, can you? Lion. No, I can't. I need water every day. But don't tell me you can do without water. Camel. Yes, I can. There are no rivers or lakes in a desert. But that does not bother me. I can drink 200 bottles of water at a time. Lion. Really? You must have a big stomach. Camel proudly. Yes, I have a big stomach. I can store water for a week. I can store food for 2 weeks even. Lion showing a lot of interest. Do you store food in your stomach? Camel. No, I don't. I store it in my hump. I eat a lot of food at one time. Then I don't need to eat for a fortnight. Lion. That's interesting. But what do you eat? Camel. I eat leaves. But there are no trees in a desert. Lion. What do you eat there? Camel. There are thorny bushes in the desert. I eat the thorns. The thorns don't prick my thick tongue. Lion. How funny. Camel. Mr. King of the forest, please come with me to the desert. Lion. No, I would better not. I can't walk on burning sand. I can't store food and water, and I can't eat thorns. Goodbye and good luck, Mr. Ship of the Desert. Story: Sweet Porridge. There was once a little girl. She lived with her mother in a small cottage. The mother worked very hard. Still, they had very little money. Sometimes they did not have enough to eat. One day, there was nothing for dinner. The little girl went to the forest to look for berries and nuts. There she met a strange old woman. "Why are you sad, my child?" asked the old woman. "We have no food at home," said the girl. The old woman took out a small pot from under her cloak. "Take this pot," she said. "When you say, 'Cook, little pot, cook,' it will make you nice sweet porridge. When you say, 'Stop, little pot, stop,' it will stop cooking." The little girl thanked the old woman and ran home to her mother. From that day, she and her mother were never hungry. One day, the little girl was visiting her friend. Some neighbors came to their cottage. Her mother wanted to show them the magic pot. She said, "Cook, little pot, cook." The pot started cooking lovely hot porridge. But when the pot was full, the mother could not remember what to say to make it stop. "That's enough, little pot," she said. "Please stop, little pot," she said. The little pot kept on cooking. The porridge spilled over. It ran onto the floor. It flowed like a river out of the cottage door and into the streets. And still the mother couldn't remember the right words. The river of sweet porridge entered people's homes. Finally, it reached the house of the little girl's friend. Someone got a boat and rowed the little girl back to her own house. As soon as they reached her cottage, she called out, "Stop, little pot, stop!" The pot stopped cooking. The village was saved from drowning in porridge. The mother learned a lesson. She did not ever start anything before learning how to stop it. Story: Going to buy a book. One day, grandfather gave my brother and me some money. "Go and buy books," he said. We were both very happy. We both love to read. Should we go now? Should we go later? Should we go today? Should we go tomorrow? We decided to go right now. Should we go to the big market? Should we go to the small shop? Should we go with somebody? Should we go alone? We decided to go to the small shop, just the two of us. We like the small bookshop. It is small, but it has many books. The man in the shop likes us. He always helps us. Should I buy a book with a lot of pictures? Should I buy a book with a lot of stories? Should I buy a thin book? I could not decide. We did not know which book to buy. The man in the shop smiled at us. "Relax, come with me," he said. "These books are about animals. Those are about machines. Those over there are about wars. Take what you want." I picked some books. My brother picked some books. I sat on the floor. He sat on the chair. And we read, and we read, and we read. It was very quiet. There was no sound. 1 hour passed. 2 hours passed. Finally, we knew which books to buy. The man in the bookshop smiled at us. I got a fat book with many stories. My brother got a big book with many pictures. We ran home to our grandfather. We climbed on his bed. He put his arms around us, and then we read and read and read. Story: The Giving Tree. Once there was a tree, and it loved a little boy. Every day, the boy would visit the tree and enjoy its company. Tree, come here, my boy. Come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches. Boy, swinging from branches. Ah, what fun! Tree, are you hungry? Eat my apples. Boy, eating apples. How delicious! When the boy was tired, he slept under the tree. The tree was happy to give its shade. But time went by, and the boy grew older and went away. The tree was often alone. After some years, one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree was very happy. Tree, come, my boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches. Boy, I am too big to climb and play. I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money? Tree, I am sorry, but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. You can pluck my apples and sell them in the market. Then you will have money. The boy happily plucked the apples and carried them away. The tree was also happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time and the tree was sad. One day the boy came back and the tree shook with joy. Tree, come boy, come and climb up my trunk, swing from my branches, eat my apples, play in my shade and be happy. Boy, I'm too busy to climb trees. I'm getting married and I need a house for my wife and children. Can you give me a house? Tree, I have no house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. So the boy cut off the tree's branches and carried them away to build a house. The tree was very happy, but the boy stayed away for a long time and the tree was sad again. And when he came back after some years, the tree was so happy that it could hardly speak. Now the boy was a young man. Tree, come boy, come. What can I do for you? Young man, I'm going on business trip. I want a boat to take me away. Can you give me a boat? Tree, all I have left is a trunk. Cut down my trunk and make a boat. Then you can sail away. The young man cut the trunk of the tree and sailed away in a boat. The tree was left only with a stump. And after a long time, the young man came back again. Now he was an old man, but the tree recognized him. Tree, I am sorry, friend, but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. Old man, my teeth are too weak for apples. Tree, my branches are gone. You cannot swing on them. Old man, I am too old to swing on branches. Tree, my trunk is gone. You cannot climb. Old man, I am too tired to climb. Tree, sighing, I am sorry. I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry. Old man, dear tree, you have always given, but now I don't need much, just a quiet place to sit and rest. Tree, happily, well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting on. Come, friend, sit down and rest. The old man did, and the tree was still happy. Story: The Scholar's Mother Tongue. A learned Pandit once visited the court of Akbar. He told the king and his courtiers that he had mastery over many different languages. The Pandit could speak many languages fluently. He was so fluent that no one could find out what his mother tongue was. He challenged everybody at the court to name his mother tongue. When everyone failed, the challenge was taken up by Birbal. That night, Birbal went quietly to the Pandit's room. When he was asleep, he whispered into the Pandit's ear and tickled it with a feather. The Pandit, half awake, cried out suddenly and shouted out words in his mother tongue. Birbal came to the court the next day and told everyone that the Pandit's mother tongue was Telugu. The Pandit was surprised and accepted the truth. King Akbar then asked Birbal, "How did you find the truth?" Birbal answered, "In times of difficulty, a person speaks only in his mother tongue." He also told the king how he had gone to the Pandit's room at night to find out the truth. Hiawatha. Hiawatha was a young Native American boy. He lived with his old grandmother, Nokomis, in a wigwam. Nokomis taught Hiawatha about the wonders around them. She told him about the stars, the trees, the insects, the birds, the animals, and many other things. Hiawatha grew up to love them all. He could talk to the birds and the animals, and they to him. Then the little Hiawatha learned of every bird its language, learned their names and all their secrets, how they built their nests in summer, where they hid themselves in winter, talked with them whenever he met them, called them Hiawatha's chickens. Of all beasts, he learned the language, learned their names and all their secrets, how the beavers built their lodges, where the squirrels hid their acorns, how the reindeer ran so swiftly, why the rabbit was so timid, talked with them whenever he met them, called them Hiawatha's brothers. Story: Helen Keller. It was the summer of 1880. A healthy baby girl was